Me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true.
Okay, so my name is Brandy Stark. I'm the founder of the Spirits of St. Petersburg, and I've been loving these Stitch stories. I have been doing paranormal investigations since 1997, and my team is the oldest in the Tampa Bay area. So we're in our 25th year as a team, which is incredible. Anyway, I wanted to tell one other story because the best ones are always the ones that happen to you. I mean, understand that the world is not as paranormal as the TV shows make it out to be. But, I mean, I've seen my share. I've seen one person pushed. I've been touched on the shoulder and scratched once on the face. And I've seen a Bible come out and do this by itself. Pretty cool stuff. But it's still those personal stories that really get you. So when I was 16, we moved from Lutz, Florida over to St. Petersburg, Florida for my mom's job. She worked at Florida Power at the time. And I had kind of like an attached bedroom. So it was a converted garage, attached bedroom. And my mother was in the house. And this was not separated from the house, but it was like a further bedroom from her. So the first year that we were there, I had 3 visits from this faceless entity. Now understand, at the time I was trying to decide whether or not my part of the house was haunted because we knew that there was a suicide on the property, and my bedroom had been originally a garage that kind of got enclosed and converted into this awesomely huge bedroom, which was great if you were a teenager, right? Made you feel like you were free. So what ended up happening was, this would happen around 7 o'clock every morning, right around twilight, and I would wake up and I wouldn't be moving, but I would look down at the foot of my bed, and the first time I saw this thing, it looked like my mother. It was in her shape. It was literally wearing a night set that she had, like this really pretty white nightgown and robe that she actually did own. And it even had her glasses, but its skin color was pastel, and it had no face. That's the part I remember. And it was at the foot of the bed, and it's like it wanted to look at me, at my face, and I was kind of on my side. And so the thing actually bent backwards and turned its neck up and over at the foot of the bed to kind of get a different view of me and I guess see my face. And that was weird, and then it just kind of disappeared, and I went back to sleep. Then the second time it showed up, it was something similar, where it was once again wearing her clothes, and it had the same, pastel skin. It had her glasses. It never spoke to me, but it was kind of like at the foot of the bed, and it would just kind of look at me and then go away. So the third time it showed up, it was wearing, and I remember this very distinctly, it was wearing she had a jean outfit. This was the 90s, and so she had this like jean overcoat, and it had pearls, like pearl beads on it. It was really a very pretty outfit. But again, very distinctively her clothes. And, I mean, even her hairstyle, I mean, everything, just pastel skin and no face. And this time I remember that it spoke to me. And in fact, it interacted. It actually said something about, well, I'm going to go now. And it actually moved towards the door, like actually moved past the bed to the door that would have led to my porch and gone outside. And I swear that this thing handed me a chew toy for one of my pugs that was in the bed with me. When I woke up, there was no chew toy because that would have been totally creepy. But I don't know what that was, and I never, ever saw it again. 3 times. And I've always been wondering about other people who've seen, like, these faceless entities. It took the shape of my mom, but it wasn't my mom. And she, of course, says that she wasn't out there. In order for her to get in there, she would have had to unlock the door. I mean, it could be some sort of gray state sleep or old hag syndrome, but I've had that phenomenon in the past, and it's always seemed much more dreamlike. I mean, this figure looked really solid. So, and usually if it's sleep paralysis, for me, there's a sensation of 2 presences, one major, one minor. I don't know what that's about. deal with my subconscious mind. So there you go. Since that time, I grew up, got 3 graduate degrees and a doctorate, and graduated, and ended up with a full-time faculty position that I quit because Florida education. We'll talk about that another time. But I ended up buying the house literally next door to my mother. It had gone up on the market. I had actually known 3 separate homeowners before it went up on the market, because I had lived next door for probably 20 some odd years, 21 years. And I was walking my pugs down the alley past this house, and a little voice in my head said, it didn't say I should buy this house, it said you should buy this house. And I'm like, okay, that's got to be my higher consciousness telling me. And I wasn't really serious about it. I had just gotten out of my doctorate, I had just gotten my job. But you know, I mentioned it to Mom, and she's like, yeah, maybe you should. And so we kind of looked at it more seriously. This was at the end of the housing bubble burst in Florida. From 2008, I got the house in 2011, and I was able to get it for what is now like 1/3 of its value, because the prices here have escalated so fast and so high. But when I moved into this house, of course, because I have a paranormal team, I had my team investigate the house. I want my pugs to be safe, and I want to make sure there was nothing residue here. And it turns out that for a short time, there was a homeowner that I never met, probably the original homeowner, who was a husband and wife. The husband was in the military, he passed away, and the wife lived here for like another 20 years before the next homeowner got it, and he lived here 25 years, and I knew him. And people kind of sensed her kind of off to the side in the front room. And I don't know if she's still here or not, but the weird thing was that usually sometime between February, March, April, kind of in that time period, I would be awakened right around 7 o'clock in the morning by what sounded like a muffled conversation coming from the living room. Now, the living room has the original windows. I've not replaced those, and I initially thought maybe it was some noise from outside, but when I would check, there was nobody near them, and for somebody to do that, they'd have to cross my entire lawn, which is, you know, it's a good lawn, and stand outside the window and talk pretty loudly for me to hear them all the way in the bedroom of my house. So that happened for about 7 years. I've been here 13, and I haven't heard it in a while. So I'm assuming that she's kind of faded away, but it was just kind of cool. It didn't seem to upset the pugs, and as long as they're cool and safe, then I'm cool, as long as I'm also safe. So there you go.